And every time you do work with other people, and if you find yourself getting triggered or having judgments or predictions, you go, "Wow, I've got to own this because I'm I still have stuff." And so
that's right. I hear you.
And I really wanted to get it. Because my mother would do weird things like strangle me. And it was like one woman I met. Her name was what was her name? Angelica. I met like an Angelica. Her name was. She was very Asian in Oahu when I moved there in 1993. And she said, "Who abused you, your mother or your father?" And I said, and I had totally rewritten a new history for myself. My parents never abused me, And she said, "Well, you had to, because you got involved with such a dysfunctional person to begin with." And that really got me thinking, like, why did I get involved with a man that was beating me and holding a gun to my head? And he shot at me one time. And it's like, that was crazy. Anybody who loves himself and is normal and conscious would leave that man and never look back. But I kept with it, thinking I could change him somehow. Like, I don't know why I kept believing that, but and of course you can't change somebody. That's who they are, right? So you have to change yourself and keep on going. So anyway, that's kind of my background. But I've always been psychic. I've never felt comfortable doing psychic readings, but when I'm doing sessions, I'll wrap this up. I was doing a session with Dr. Listen in New York, and this fellow was describing his childhood, and all of a sudden I get a tap on my shoulder. And I said, "I think, Joe's mother wants to come through and talk to us." So she said, "Okay, let's try this experiment. Allow her to come through without taking over, but allow her to use your voice box." The next thing I know, I'm channeling this man's mother, and he's telling a piece that he kept missing in therapy, which was vital. He wanted to know why she'd kill herself, and she had been the issue of a molestation and rape, and she didn't want she couldn't live with herself knowing that her husband was not the father of this child. So she went out in the car and put a hose in the car and turned it on and killed herself. So anyway, I learned that I could channel, and I had always been psychic and very intuitive, and I'd seen ghosts all my life, seen ETs all my life, back to the crib. So that's kind of how I got started, but it's an ongoing practice, and I love doing therapy with people. Okay, let's go back. So, Karen, you asked a question, and we'll go round table with that.
Well, first of all, I want to say that's a fantastic
Okay.
history and experience that you've had, and I can feel your energy. You came here to do therapy. You were very good. So I just was reading that.
You.
That's beautiful. And TJ, yours is something else. I'm telling you. I mean, yours is fantastic. You could make a movie. So, anyway,
okay.
you
what do you want to ask TJ? Next question. So we'll go around table with it.
What do I want to ask TJ?
Yeah, you ask TJ. And let's try to keep it like 10 minutes. And then we'll pass the talking to, so he gets to do 3 rounds for the end of the show.
Yeah,
okay, so go ahead.
I'm interested in it's almost like you went so many places, TJ. It's so much in a short period of time that was just kind of like time and space were just kind of blended, which was very interesting. And I'm still interested in your connection in Area 51 and White Sands, because when you're talking about this, I'm able to see, and I'm sure we all are, the 3 of us anyway, are able to see this other little picture, this other little film kind of going on, and we're watching films of what each other's saying, and I think that's interesting. And if I'm aware, if you can't say anything or you don't feel comfortable talking about it, I respect that.
Well, no, this gives me a chance
for certain
to figure.
reasons.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you well.
I don't know why there's a background a little bit. Can you turn your sound down, or is Karen? You're not
Me?
sitting in front of a computer, are you?
No.
Huh. Okay.
A computer's in the room, but it's closed down.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I am in a building that has bad Wi-Fi, so you're right on that. Well, I have bad Wi-Fi in this building I live in. Yeah, you're probably hearing that.
Okay. Well, no, I don't mind answering questions. Do y'all hear a background? Or is it just me?
Just go. It's not that loud, TJ. Just keep going.
Okay.
Walk past it.
All right. I can call in on another phone, but I don't mind. It seems to help me if somebody asks me a direct question because
okay,
I have done various levels of living a very fast-paced life in various lanes. You know how people say, stay in your lane. Well, I have to say, well, which lane are we talking about? Because I don't know. Yeah, are we talking about the government lane, or are we talking? But you did mention two places. But I know the Army Corps of Engineers, from my education investigation, was that prior to us having Area 51, and what else did you mention? You said another word, but I've already forgotten.
I guess basically I can help you a little bit because I know I was too scattered. Which was your which time and which thing was your favorite that you really felt that you
20
really
years. Working with Tom, working out his story versus my story. Because of the extraterrestrial and the ET and the CIA and how the government worked, his story going back to Hitler and his interests versus my interests. But he was a weapons person, and of course I was trained in weapons, but fortunately as a hospital corpsman with interrogation as investigator, I didn't have to worry about killing people. You know, I didn't even waterboard people. My skills were more using love and language as a communicator with extraterrestrials. So I guess my part would be rewriting reality history as a phase, biophaser. How do they say that? Where you know that this is like an illusion and a reality that we all create our own inside whatever it is with our senses. So my favorite part was learning extraterrestrial senses and how to travel multi-universes, knowing that I could do it out of body, but I never really learned how to speak about it. And whenever I worked with extraterrestrials, the 20-year program with Tom was, I liked it. I liked working with Steve and NASA, you know, and all the engineers and scientists and, you know, like Ken Johnston and Werner von Braun, all those kind of people. But that was way back in the day. And Tom didn't come into my life that I knew about till 95 in Dallas, where you are. So my favorite time would be Dallas. Yeah, forward.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So learning
I think it's fantastic.
That's why I was out researching on my own after I met Janet about physical reality because of the spiritual science involvement and how in Hawaii I was teaching. I loved teaching, and even when I went to college again later on in life as a retooler in her 50s in 2007, they would put me in front of the people, and they put me in front of people in the Navy, too, in Hawaii. So I learned I did love to teach people, but I never had a real platform. It was either for the government or for health and wellness or my psychic network was created by the extraterrestrials. They gave me a magical vision while I was in Hawaii with this emblem. They made this brand logo, and they it came down with lightning like solar. And I got interested in folklore, so I have the Ace Folklife Society and Ace Metaphysical Institute because of the metaphysics involved with psychic phenomena and magic, because there's no other word for it, metaphysics, esoterics, and all of that. So that's what I was looking for, and it was about 94 in Hawaii, and I did people synergistically involved all the way up to the Tony Robbins $5,000 level, and then you get the book. So I completed a complete people synergistically involved. I really enjoyed those classes. So I liked learning, but I also liked teaching. But the part I liked most was the extraterrestrial puzzle and mysteries, and learning that there was another man that had been off planet, and that Ronald Reagan, he liked psychics like Michael Jackson. So when I was a reader for Michael Jackson, and I didn't know I was reading for him, I think the parts I like is the parts that happen that I'm doing readings for people that believe like I do, but it's a joy to help them see what I see and help them be better or put their lives together. So I don't know what that's called. So the part I enjoy the most is the learning, is how to put all this together, because it feels like extraterrestrials know what we're doing and how we're evolving, but we're all at our own pace. So I sort of get the feeling that we're all like 65, let's see, how many strands, 23, 46, but I got the impression that they enjoy watching universally how we come down in a container and we become those that survive under trials and tribulations. So Tom was interested in how they observed when we were in war. They don't like war, they don't believe in war, but they had one group in another universe that's all they were. And so Tom and I started comparing it with Worf, because when we were off planet on a spacecraft, what Janet calls a mothership, we would work with a flagship, and we learned about why they did Roswell and all those. It was a 20-year period with him that offered me a way to observe being on the planet, in space, not in this planetary system, not in the Milky Way galaxy, but outside the galaxy from Andromeda galaxy. So I had a 20-year time frame of observing faster than the speed of light, but being able to come back into my body and try to figure out, how do they do that? So it's like dying, but it's not dying. It's like seeing yourself, but not yourself. So I learned to observe the observer. And there was a point in time where I was asking them why they don't teach everybody. And Tom and I were getting in these religious talks that I would want to ask these extraterrestrials, because they were us, but they were higher evolved in the future, like with Al Bielek and Preston Nichols, how you go in the future.
Yeah,
well, I wanted to know, they taught me how to go on this circle of life, but it's in a dimension of black, dark matter, but they would spin it and show me. So I went to like the ET school of the universes, outside my body. But I was able to see visions, probably like you do, where, certain galaxies or universes spin certain ways and others spin other ways, and how they work. And I wanted to get to talk to somebody on the planet besides my husband about this stuff. But Janet only helped me a little bit, because she was interested in how Tom and I met in Gus, but we didn't get very far, and it's been 8 years. So I don't know if the last 8 years with Janet seems like it's been controversial, because I'm trying to find out how to speak about the things there are no words for. So when she brought you on,
sometimes I don't think there are words. I don't think there are words. This is interesting. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but sometimes I don't think there are words or the verbiage at this time to do that. So that's what I do with my sound. And that's whenever I channel those MP3s, or I channel, and I believe the three of us are communicating right now just through energy sound. We don't even know it. And we look around.